Hey everyone! Today we are making the most delicious strawberry scones. Here's a pic of our ingredients, but make sure you check the description box for details. First and foremost, we are going to start by preheating our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, let's prep our strawberries by giving them a really good wash by using whichever method you prefer. Once you're done, take a few and place them on paper towels and blot them as dry as possible. Here I'm going to use a measuring cup to get an accurate amount of strawberries. I'm going to do about 1 cup, but if this is your first time making them, I recommend a half a cup to start and then adjust the next time you make the recipe. Dice your strawberries to your liking. I prefer smaller size pieces so that I could get more strawberry flavor per bite, if that makes any kind of sense. Then just continue dicing the strawberries until you've gotten your desired amount. Once you're done, just set them to the side for a bit. Here's a quick hack. Thoroughly finish drying the rest of your leftover strawberries and place them in a mason jar for storage. This keeps them fresher longer, and I've been able to have fresh fruit for up to 3 weeks. Let's get our dry ingredients together. Start by measuring out 1 1/4 cups of flour, making sure that you use the spoon and level method, not scooping it directly into the cup, or else you won't have the correct measurements. After that, add 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar to your bowl of flour. Next, measure out 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder and add it to the bowl as well. Again, that's baking powder. Do not use baking soda. Once you're done, give it a quick stir. Alright, here I have a stick of butter, but we're only going to use half of it, which is about 1/4 cup. Cut or dice your butter into small cubes, then add it to the bowl of flour. Now, using your hand, smush the butter and flour mixed together, creating sort of a crumble. The butter should start to break down and incorporate into the flour. The texture will resemble damp sand, sort of like it compacts together, but will still break apart. Once your butter is broken down enough, go ahead and add your cup of strawberries to the bowl. Mix the strawberries in until they are thoroughly incorporated into the flour. Alright, now on to our wet ingredients. Here I have a liquid measuring cup, some heavy cream, and an egg. I actually recommend pouring the half cup of heavy cream in first before adding the egg so that your measurements will be correct. But if you did it like me, just be sure that it's just over the half cup mark. You don't want too much liquid for this recipe. Give the milk and egg a good stir until they are pretty much combined, almost like a custard. Once you're done, using a spoon or spatula, make a small hole or crater in the middle, then go ahead and pour the liquid into the dry ingredients. Make sure you get all of the liquid out of the measuring cup. Now slowly and gently fold the wet and dry ingredients together until it's just combined. Mixing too long or too hard will mess up the dough and your scones will turn out hard and too dry. Pay close attention to my technique and see how I'm mostly going along the edges of the mix and then folding it into itself. Here's how it should look. Not dry, but not super wet and moist either. I hope that kind of makes sense. Like literally just moist and wet enough that it holds itself together. Okay, here I have a half-size cookie sheet and some parchment paper to line it. I highly recommend this so that the pan doesn't get super messy and it provides a better working surface. FYI, do not use wax paper as it doesn't hold up that great in extreme heat. Lightly flour your parchment paper. This will act as a buffer so the dough doesn't stick too much to the pan. Go ahead and dump your dough into the floured parchment paper and we're going to start forming it into a circle, then flatten it into a disc. The shape and size are kind of up to your preference, but I like mine to be a bit taller. If at any point the dough starts to get too sticky, just lightly flour the top and the sides of it. For me, this recipe makes 6 medium-sized scones, but if you like, you can make more or even less slices. Okay, I know this is an icing scraper, but please feel free to use anything with a smooth side to start sectioning off your scone pieces. And before you ask, yes, by all means, you can do any shape you want. I just prefer my scones in a triangular shape. Once sectioned, carefully pull the scones back and space them about an inch or two apart. Now I'm going to gently fix any of the scones that may need to be reshaped. Pour about a tablespoon of milk into a small bowl and using a pastry brush, brush the tops of the scones with the milk until lightly covered. This step is optional, but I'm going to sprinkle the tops of my scones with a bit of sugar. Coarse sugar works better, but granulated sugar is fine too. Here's a look before we bake them. Alright, now place it in the oven and bake for 15 to 20 minutes or until golden brown on top. While those bake, let's make our icing, and any recipe for this will do. I like to start by pouring a half a cup of sugar into a bowl, followed by a tablespoon and a half of milk. The consistency will be very thin and loose to start, but I prefer starting this way because as you add the powdered sugar, it becomes easier to mix in and thicken to your liking. Now mix it until the powdered sugar is completely dissolved into the milk. Once that's done, add in another half a cup of powdered sugar and mix it until it's completely dissolved. See how easy and quick that was? Now, of course, you can thicken it up some by adding more powdered sugar or even chilling the icing a bit. Our scones are now done, and look how golden and delicious they look. Let them cool to touch for about 5 minutes and then drizzle it with the icing we made. I hope you all enjoyed this recipe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next video.